Alrighty, good evening, everyone. Hope everybody had a nice day. We had a lot of sunshine today. Yesterday was pretty nice as well. Now our pattern gets a little unsettled late week. We're tracking a little snow, a little rain. In fact, a lot of rain. Some areas get a decent amount of snow, mostly in the mountains in northern Maine. And the winds get a little gusty, primarily at the coastline. We'll look at that part of the forecast, of course, as well. And we're probably not going to see the sun again until the weekend. The weekend, however, is looking better. If you have outdoor plans this weekend, I think the weather is going to cooperate. There'll be some clouds on Saturday. Sunday's the brighter of the 2 days this weekend. A lot of folks right now might be wondering, hey, Charlie, where's the snow? Where's the cold temps? Well, it was cold this morning. I woke up to 8 degrees in my house, but that has been a little bit of an anomaly this winter so far. I will say the pattern looks pretty active over the next 2 weeks, heading into late January here. The pattern will be active. We'll get multiple chances for storms. I don't see any major Arctic outbreak, though, so there's nothing we're looking at this as far as extreme cold. But I think there will be some spots, so we'll get some snowfall. And the first one arrives tomorrow. Again, not a big storm as far as snow goes with this one. We're going to get some rainfall, snow changing to rain Thursday into Friday. So let's waste no time and take a look at how this is going to go down here. We'll start you off with your forecast headlines. We have, of course, snow to rain. We just talked about that. That will be moving. Oh, that's not what I want to do. Oh, I just totally messed that up. Let me see if I can rewind here. There we go. Snow changing to rain that gets going tomorrow evening and heading into Friday morning. Some areas get an inch of rainfall out of this one. Over an inch should be expected for a large portion of southern and central Maine. We're talking rainfall. Strong winds, yeah, we'll get some gusts around 40 miles per hour. I think southeasterly winds will gust at times 30 to 40 miles per hour from most coastal zones. We'll get some gusts over 40 miles per hour from mid-coast Maine. They may issue, the Weather Service may issue a wind advisory for mid-coast Maine. I could see that happening for tomorrow night. Tomorrow night issued for this wind on Friday. And then improving over the weekend. We talked about that. Saturday and Sunday is looking a little bit better. We'll have a lot of clouds around on Saturday, and then Sunday looks to be our brightest part of the weekend. Notice the clouds, they're on the increase. I think the next chance for really getting any full sun is probably going to be over the weekend. At first glance, you look at this, you say, okay, maybe we have some snow showers on deck here. What's happening here is the atmosphere is very dry. A lot of that is going to weaken with time here. And our next weather maker is this little swirl you see back into the central plain. See that area of low pressure? That is going to actually track just off to our west, which is not a favorable track for snow. So we're looking at mostly rain with this one. But we're cold enough for snow at the onset here. And most of you will see some snowfall tomorrow and into tomorrow evening. Notice this is about 8 p.m. or so. We're seeing some snow here in Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont. But the warm temperatures will win out. The winds, they'll be generally out of the southeast and eventually south, and that allows for a warm-up. So anytime you have a storm tracking to our west, you can pretty much think warmer temps. We call those inside runners. Really, for a big snowstorm, you want that area of low pressure to maybe be 100 miles farther off to the east. So that would hold in the cold air and then we get snow. But that's not going to be the case this time around. It's raining area-wide on Friday morning. So we are going to see periods of rain extending into at least Friday morning. The afternoon Friday may be a little bit better. Storm Tracker, a closer inspection of this, kind of highlights what we just talked about. Teens and low 20s early in the day. No problems with kids heading to school tomorrow. We have cloudy skies, though. Today we had a lot of sunshine. Tomorrow that will not be the case. There's a little bit of snow getting going here. That's primarily during the afternoon and evening, and whatever falls tomorrow should be very light. Precip picks up in intensity for tomorrow night. This is about 8 o'clock tomorrow night, and that rain snow line is sharpening up over the interior. We should be raining at the coast at 8 p.m. tomorrow. Notice that rain snow line is still kind of maybe 20 miles inland. It's probably near Lewis and Auburn, just south of you in Augusta. That's 10, 11 o'clock tomorrow night. Those yellows indicate some heavy bands of rain. We're probably talking about over an inch of rain in these areas. And when it snows, it's going to come down at a pretty good clip here, back through the hills, mountains, even the Sebago Lake area, Lewis and Auburn, you get a pretty solid burst of snow. Again, 10, 11 o'clock, Augusta, Waterville, you're getting some snowfall as well. But even there, you will transition over to some wet weather. By the time you get up Friday morning, it should be raining area-wide. The exception, there might be a little bit of wintry mix hanging on here. I think the models have a hard time handling how that's going to go down. But notice Freiburg at 34. I wouldn't be shocked to see those areas in the low 30s or 32, 33. Same up into the Rangeley Lakes region. And if that's the case, I think freezing rain would be the type of precipitation with some warmer air working in a loft. So it looks like the warm temperatures will win out here. We're probably talking about 40s and low 50s. That's it. Late day highs on Friday should be back in the 40s and low 50s. Same areas that were in the lower single digits this morning will be candidates for 40s to near 50 2 days later. So how about that? That is Maine for you. That's Maine weather. You got to have respect for Mother Nature with that. Also take note here, we have just clouds. I think the bulk of the rain moves out during the morning on Friday, and the afternoon's looking a little bit better. That's important because, well, a lot of folks might have some outdoor plans Friday heading into the weekend. I know my daughter's ski club meets on Friday evenings, and Friday evening originally early in the week, you probably get it canceled this week, but I think they're going to have it now. So that's about 6, 7 o'clock in the evening on Friday. So I think outdoor plans are in pretty good shape. Starting Friday afternoon, the bulk of that rain moves out. Might be stubborn to get those clouds to move out, but we'll have at least some dry hours moving in. All right, snowfall amounts before the change over to rain. We're probably talking about a coating to an inch along the coastal plain. All of this is going to wash away. You might get a coating to an inch or two in a few spots here, but it's going to wash away. It's just, it's going to rain. So that's the way it looks at this point. Where we're going to get the bulk of our snowfall will be over the higher elevation. Well, northern Maine's going to get, there'll be spots that get a half foot to a foot of snow up into northern Aroostook County. But I feel good about 3 to 6 inches in these areas here north of Route 2. Yeah, we're probably talking about 3 to 6 inches. And there will be some select spots that get a little bit more than that. If you live in New Hampshire, if you live in the mountains, or if you follow our weather forecasts a lot, you probably know these areas because we're always talking about them. This is pretty much the presidential range, the Franconia range there in New Hampshire. There'll be spots, you get over 2,000 feet in elevation. And let's see, Pinkham Notch is just under 2,000 feet. Same with Crawford Notch. These areas, they're going to get some snow. There'll be some spots to get over a half foot of snow here. And that's the same for some of the usual suspect areas going over toward Carrabassett Valley. You have Sugarloaf in these areas. You have Saddleback up in that area as well. You have the Bigelows right across the street. So there'll be spots here that get 6 to 10. There's Baxter up towards Mount Katahdin. Yeah. And northern parts of Maine. Yeah, we're probably talking about northern Penobscot, Piscataquis, Aroostook County. These areas will get probably a half foot to a foot of snow in those areas there. So again, just in review, a lot of this coating to an inch is going to wash away. Now, could I see a situation where it comes down so heavy and we get, 2-3 inches before the changeover? Absolutely. That's certainly on the table. That's why there's going to be a sharp contrast between that coating to an inch and maybe 1 to 3 as you go into northern Androscoggin County, even over towards the Bridgeton area. Yeah, you're probably getting that 1 to 3, and it really ramps up as you get to Freiburg, Lovell, those areas going up to Rumford, Mexico, Newry, Bethel, Farmington, Wilton, Jay, these areas, Kingfield gets in on as well. So these areas will get higher amounts the farther north you go and over the higher elevations. Now, if you're a snow lover, look away, because in addition to that snow, we're going to get some rain, and we're going to get a decent amount of rainfall here. We're probably talking about 1 inch to 1.75 inches of rain. That's the way it looks here. So that snow that we talked about, I feel pretty confident that it's going to wash away. So here we go. It's another rain event. It's like every week we're like, okay, maybe this one's going to stick. Maybe it's going to be snow. It was nice to get that snow on Friday, wasn't it? It's going to be gone. That's the way it looks here. The mountains, though, I think they'll hold on to some snow. Some of that 3 to 6 is going to compact, and I think we'll be in pretty good shape there. Wind tracker here, we'll get some gusty winds with this one as well, but everything I'm looking at is indicating this is primarily a coastal Maine, maybe central Maine wind event. So if you live from Sebago Lake north and west, even Lewiston north and west, you're probably going to miss out on the wind. This is primarily a coastal event here. You get a southerly component to the wind Friday. We'll get some gusts 30 to 40 miles per hour. And the jackpot in the wind is going to be across mid-coast Maine, Penobscot Bay area, from Penobscot Bay to Casco Bay. We'll get some gusts here over 40 miles per hour. That's about 7 in the morning. That's 9 o'clock in the morning here. Notice this takes us right until about 10 o'clock in the morning. Still, we're looking at some gusts over 30 miles per hour in Portland. So we'll get gusty, but I don't think it's going to be extreme or anything like that. Mid-coast Maine, you still may get some scattered outages. It's not the wind that we had just a couple of weeks ago. That was a respectable wind. That one was, we had gusts over 60 miles per hour. It's not going to be like that. And the tides are not as high either. So good news there as well. So I think this is a pretty manageable storm. It's snow changing to rain, gusty winds at the coastline, and we can put it to bed Friday night. This is 2:30 in the afternoon. That wind is starting to die down here. So as far as snowfall goes, it's light snow and rain at the coastline tomorrow. It picks up in intensity tomorrow night. So coastal areas, it's primarily rain. So tomorrow night, it's going to be rain at the coast. Inland areas, it's rain. I should say it's snow changing to rain. We'll get the order right. So it's already raining tomorrow night at the coastline, inland areas, the snow changing to rain. And it's all rain on Friday. And it's primarily during the morning. We'll get some gusts, probably 30 to 40 miles per hour. Mid-coast Maine we'll get some stronger gusts Friday as well. Now, I include mountain mix. I think very early in the day on Friday, there could be some freezing rain that hangs on a little bit longer in those stubborn sheltered valleys where the cold air is stubborn to move out. So that's something to keep an eye on. But even inland towns, it's raining Friday. The afternoon looks better, though. So afternoon, there will be some dry hours, and that will head into the evening. Look for a lot of clouds on Saturday. We may have to squeeze in a little bit of sun on Saturday. I bet we get some sunny breaks Saturday. So it's mainly cloudy, but I bet we'll get at least some sunny breaks. And full sun returns on Sunday. Now, we don't have any major storms in the forecast next week, at least for the first part of the week. But let's keep an eye on maybe Thursday night, Friday of next week. I think we have a decent shot of getting at least some more rain and snow. That one has a better chance of bringing some snow for some inland towns as well. And I think we'll get probably 3 chances for storms over the next 2 weeks. How does that sound? So next Friday, maybe late next weekend, I'm seeing signs that we could see another storm that gets going. And then at some point, middle of the following week as well. And with each storm, I could see it getting a little bit colder. So I think 2 weeks from now, we'll have a blanket of snow on the ground for the entire area. That's the way it looks here. And February is a long month. I mean, I know I have it in my mind frame at this point. And, yeah, maybe it's just one of those winters where we're not getting much snow. I think of 2007 in a situation like this. We really didn't get our first snowstorm until Valentine's Day, and then we had the St. Patrick's Day storm. I think we had 18 inches of snow just in Portland alone. The first 2 weeks of April, and the Patriots Day storm. So I mean, some winters takes a while to get going. February, feel pretty good about February. We're going to get some snow on the ground February. Those of you just joining us on Facebook Live here, Twitter, YouTube, thanks for joining us. And just to go over the timing again, more detail. This is 8 o'clock tomorrow night. Snow changing to rain. That rain snow line is slowly working its way inland. There it is right there, 11 o'clock at night. So we're talking 24 hours from now. We'll be tracking a rain snow line. This will be fun. And the snow hangs on longest in the mountains, but even there you'll transition to plain old rain. So that's the way it looks. Let me see if I can take a look at some of your comments here. We have a few comments. Maybe we can hopefully I've answered all your questions. Phyllis says hello. Hello to Phyllis. Has there ever been such a rainy January? Christine, that's a good question. Maybe I should look that one up as far as rain goes. It's easy to look up rain and melted snow. I'm not sure how I'd look up rainfall. But that's a great question. Hey, it feels like spring, doesn't it? At times, not this morning. This morning it was single digits and teens, but I don't know. I started thinking about maple syrup the other day. I mean, that's March. I usually don't think about that until late February. Pamela is not messing around. She says, crappy winter so far. I don't blame her. Yeah. Hey, people want snow. I get it. And there are a lot of you that don't want snow. I get that too, but I'm one of those that want some snow. We'll get some. February is a long month. And, sometimes we get these winters, March and April, they can be stubborn. Yeah, they can be interesting. 2018, 4 nor'easters in 4 weeks. 07, we had that big April. Sugarloaf had 96 inches of snow in April alone. That was in 2007. Imagine that. So that's that kind of late winter is on the table here. All right. Gail says, thanks for not turning this into a huge disaster. Oh, boy. The other stations do a good job. They do a good job, too. I don't think they're making it into a disaster. Maybe they are. But, 8 and 6, they're friends of mine. They do a good job. Please, Klein says, please put in good news for Carrabassett. Yeah, I mean, Carrabassett's one of those spots. Carrabassett Valley, Sugarloaf area. Yeah, they're in the 6+. I think they're going to end with some rain, but they'll get some beneficial snow. So some of the ski resorts that really benefit in these sort of setups, higher elevations. We're talking Saddleback, Sugarloaf. In New Hampshire, there's Wildcat. There's Cannon Mountain. There's Bretton Woods. Sometimes even in Jackson, Black Mountain in New Hampshire can pull one of these out. But some of the lower elevations, they can be kind of tough in these sort of snow events. But we are going to get at least some snow there as well. Everybody's prepared for an inch of snow and a light breeze, Will says. Thanks for checking in, Will. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we're prepared for an inch. Hey, the reason we do these Facebook Lives is just to kind of let people know what's happening. We're preparing people for that inch of snow that's going to wash away. You're right. Hey, it's my job, though. That's what we do, Will. Thanks for checking in. Connor says, power outages due to heavy wet snow in Wilton, Farmington area. It's possible. Absolutely. Heavy wet snow. The winds are not going to be an issue there, but that's good news. I think Mid-Coast Maine gets the strongest winds. So, yeah, Connor, absolutely. There's a chance for some outages where in areas that get some wet snow. But hopefully all the weak branches are broken with the last storm. I mean, that's my guess. I don't think this is good. I think this is a pretty manageable storm. I think we can handle this one. Cameron says, tuning in from Auburn. Thanks for checking in, Cameron. Appreciate it. From Auburn, Maine. All right. I think I've answered everybody's questions, and thank you for tuning in tonight. I'm going to call it there. We'll take another check on the Facebook Live, Twitter, YouTube tomorrow night. Let's meet up at the same time, maybe around 7:45 or so. We have a live broadcast at 7 o'clock, so we finish up at 7:30. And I just need a little while to get organized here. But more updates coming up on Fox 23 at 10 and CBS 13 at 11. We'll see you then. Take care. Have a nice night.